This weekend, I spent a half an hour with my daughter in total. Greetings. What's up? It's Deborah. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I did. But I only spent a half an hour with my daughter. Now, my question for you, is it good? Is it bad that I only spent 30 minutes with my daughter over this past weekend? I'm asking you this question, not because I actually want your direct judgment of me and my time spending, but to make you actually think about something that is so important to quality of life, which I believe is what everyone pursues when they're actually talking about work-life balance. I think they're really actually talking about quality of life, but that often is missed completely, right? So thank goodness, these days, most people are not saying that more money equals a higher quality of life. I think most people have started to get the idea that money and quality of life, while there might be some connection or overlap, there's not a direct correlation between them, right? You can have an amazing quality of life without much money, and you can have tons of money and have a horrible quality of life. It doesn't really exactly correlate. Where I see people really focusing now on is time. So this is one of the reasons why people also set up boundaries, is because they want to be very, good morning, LinkedIn user. I don't know who that is, but they want to be very cautious about how they use their time. And I've heard this so many times before, that time is an asset, or is a resource that we can never get back. And there's, if you've been listening to me for a while, I have this whole thing about scarcity around time that I hear all the time that does bother me, because time is a man-made construct. So how can it be scarce? It's made up. It's a different topic for a different day. But anyway, so we hear people talking about, you need to spend your time very wisely because, you can't get it back. And so people really try very hard to protect their time. And one of the things that ends up happening a lot of the time is that people try to spend as much time as possible with their loved ones, because there's supposed to be the direct correlation between time and quality of life, right? That if you're spending more of your time with your loved ones and less of your time working, that's going to bring you to fulfillment. And I would like to say that that's important. Time is another important factor. Let's say you have zero money and you have zero time, or you have zero money and lots of time, or zero time and lots of money, right? Both of those scenarios have problems, right? They're neither of them are ideal. However, their time and money alone are not the only parts of the equation. Now, often at this point in time, people say, oh, no, Deborah, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that we need to be present. We need to be present with our family members or our friends or wherever we are. We need to be present with them. So this idea of presence is it's so amazing. I love how modern spirituality, mindfulness has become so embraced, and because we know we need it, right? Our society really went off on a tangent there with the Industrial Revolution, and things kind of got out of hand, and we're trying to get back to being humans again and being mindful and actually taking a breath and being present with the now, with the present moment, right? I'm totally down with all of that. However, I'm not talking about presence, because you can be fully present with someone and be spending lots of time with them and still not feel fulfilled. So you might be scratching your head now, like, what are you talking about, Deborah? I want to introduce something to you, which we all know, but we often don't talk about when we talk about work-life balance, which is context. So the reason I want to introduce you to this because one of the gifts I've had of traveling to so many and being exposed quite intimately with so many different cultures is that there's no such thing as normal. So what happens is that there's so many different variations of parenting, or caring for your loved ones, or being a friend around the world. There's no two cultures that do it the same. Just like there's no two households that do it exactly the same, but for sure, there's no two cultures that do it the same. So I've seen places where to show love for your loved ones, for your family and your friends, you actually travel to another country where the pay is better and you send money home every single week or every single month or whenever you've decided. Another version of spending, like really truly caring for your loved ones, is that you put them in the best boarding school and you only see them, a couple times a year, but they're getting the best education. Another version of spending quality time is what I'm, starting to understand much more intimately now here in the United States, is this idea of 50-50. Like if a couple is split up, then one parent has the child 50% of the time, or children 50% of the time. The other parent has the children 50% of the time. These are all very, very, very different ways of expressing care and having quote unquote quality of life that are defined around the world in different cultures. Context is everything, people. And if you take context, you take something out of context, you wind up with a situation where you're going to make the wrong call. Let me put it that way. And when I say the wrong, I mean you're not going to have enough information to make a really wise call. So with quality of life, I'm going to bring this back to the idea of oneness and interdependence. In interdependence, we recognize that we are all connected and everything is connected. We are connected to time. We're connected to money, even though those are man-made constructs. We're connected. We're connected to the planet. We're connected to all human life, plant life, and animal life. We're connected to everything around us. There is no disconnection. So how does this apply when we talk about work-life balance, when we talk about quality of life, when we talk about how much time we're spending with people? We have to take into context where our values are, where the needs of those people involved are, where we're headed, what our goals are. So one area, and I've spoken about this before, this, dirty little secret or the secret shame that many of us disruptors have is that we are, especially if you're a maverick, if you remember, a maverick is a purpose-driven disruptor. They've got a specific mission that they're focused on. They can be sometimes, if they get a little too overboard, they might become workaholics to some extent. But there's a reason for that. This is the piece that we need to bring in. If you want to truly have a healthy, whole, and complete quality of life, you have to understand the context within which you're operating. So what I mean by this is number of hours does not equate to quality, improved quality. Just like number of dollars doesn't equate to improved quality. Just like presence doesn't necessarily equate to improved quality. These things do help, but they are not a complete picture. To get the complete picture, you have to look at context. The person who's driven by their mission is going to, by default, need more time in the thing that drives them first than someone who's driven by nurturing and caring for their loved ones. It's just a different type of drive. Neither is wrong. They're just different. And if you try to take someone who's driven by their mission and have them only working 2 or 3 hours a week, like, you've seen these ads, right? Buy your freedom. That's not freedom for them. They're pulling their hair out because they love their kids. They love their spouse. They love their parents. They love their friends, but they don't want to be with them all that time. Because where they really come alive and where they live on purpose is in the mission that they're working towards. So they need to spend more time engrossed in that work. And if they don't spend that time engrossed in that work, we don't have light bulbs and we don't have, iPads or whatever it is, all these amazing inventions from people who are very purpose-driven in their mission. Where they fall off, though, is that, again, they don't really look at the context in completion and see that without a good connection with their loved ones, that they lose their balance in a different way. But it's not measured by time. It's really truly a function of the context within which they're operating. And by the way, context changes from year to year, from season to season, from decade to decade, from enterprise to enterprise, if they're multi-enterprise owners, or from project to project, things change. So this is something that needs to be evaluated on a continuous basis, not just once, and this is my philosophy about life, and then forget about it. Yeah, you might have a philosophy, but that doesn't mean that you can't at times check and see whether it's still working and bringing you the level of fulfillment that you're looking for. So as you see, when you put yourself into the context of the whole, recognizing how you are connected to everyone and everything else, it brings a completely new dimension to understanding what defines your quality of life. And here I don't have your answers. Only you have your answers. And like I said, even when you have your answers, they might change from year to year, okay? But the idea is to open up your mind to the fact that there is no such thing as amount of time being able to equate to quality of life. And quality of life is really what we're seeking when we're seeking work-life balance. That's what we're really looking for, is a higher quality of life where we really truly enjoy our lives. And these are some other factors that are contextual that you might want to take into consideration, because you are one person on a planet and you are here for a specific purpose. And the reason that you're here is just as important as the reason someone else is there. And if you are worried about very rigid and general definitions like how much time equals how much quality of life, you're going to be missing out on the richness and the nuance of your specific individual purpose. So I would love to read your thoughts in the comments. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Much love. Bye.